Senator Hirono.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, Director Wray. When we talk about your concern about domestic terrorism, which you had indicated in prior testimony was a top concern, that racially and ethnically motivated violent extremism was at the highest threat level. So you noted that here are some of the indicators that you would look at in terms of who commits domestic terrorism, lone actor. So for that, you suggest that if the community, if they see something, you have to say something. Not the easiest thing. And then the second factor, largely radicalized online, and also very difficult to get at because you have First Amendment issues and other issues. And then the third factor you noted was easy access to weapons. I'm looking at the third factor, and what would you suggest that we should be looking to limit the easy access to guns? Briefly.
Well, certainly guns are one of the weapons that domestic violent extremists use and have easy access to. Obviously, we want to make sure we're focusing under the laws that we have on the individuals who pursue them. We also are seeing violent extremists use crude IEDs that they can make fairly easily off of the internet.
Well, let's focus on guns. Should people be able to have easy access to AR-15s? And you noted that you've seen an increase in modifying guns so that they become automatic. So are those areas that we should address to limit the mass shootings that we see practically every single day in our country?
Well, I, as you can appreciate, Senator, I'm not going to comment on specific legislative ideas. That's not my place or my role. I will say that there are individuals who represent a danger, who are hell-bent on committing violence, and those are people we want to prevent in whatever way we lawfully and appropriately can from getting access to weapons and hurting innocent Americans.
It would be great, frankly, if we had law enforcement officials who actually came forward and were not as reticent as all that, because our nation is awash in guns. You also noted that there's been an increase in violence after the Dobbs decision. Now, historically, we've seen the violence directed against the murder of abortion doctors, the firebombing of abortion clinics. And I note that today you said that you don't care where their orientation is, that anybody who threatens or engages in this kind of violence should be prosecuted. So do you keep track of the rise in violence after the Dobbs decision? Because I think that kind of information will be very useful.
We have various ways of keeping track. Like how it's broken down, that I can't sit here and tell you right now. I know that we keep track of what we call abortion related violent extremism, which is designed to capture the full spectrum of people who commit violence on either side of that issue. And I believe we have seen an uptick in that category.
I think that would be really important for us to have, because frankly, I mean, there's been a tremendous increase in threats against members of the House and the Senate. And I actually have been the recipient of such a threat, and the person was prosecuted, and he threatened me because I supported abortion. So you have a situation such as in the state of Texas, where you have bounty hunters who can go after people who provide abortions in that state and who assist. These are not even law enforcement people. Do you have some concerns about what might happen if you have all of these people literally, able to go after people for $10,000 in bounty?
Well, I have concerns about anybody who is going to violate federal criminal law and engage in violence, whether it's motivated by violent extremism related to abortion or anything else.
I would say that if a state creates the kind of environment when non-law enforcement people can be induced by $10,000. I think that is an issue, an area of concern. I hope that the FBI will be paying special attention to states that provide that kind of environment.